Hey History Explorer, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Ancient Histrologer.
Across the sands of Egypt stand the oldest enigmas on Earth, giant sentinels of stone that whisper to the stars. For thousands of years they have guarded a secret no dynasty could erase, a code older than language itself. Tonight we step beyond textbooks and into the heartbeat of eternity. Listen closely, for we are about to awaken the hidden code of the pyramids. For as long as the desert has breathed beneath the burning sun, the great stones have watched in silence. Wind, sand, empire, and time have all passed across their faces, yet still they stand, immovable, patient, eternal. The pyramids are not monuments to death. They are monuments to memory, to the ancient pulse that binds heaven and earth. Listen closely, and you may hear them whisper. They tell of an age when humankind still remembered its origin in the stars, when the rhythm of the cosmos was the rhythm of the heart, and every measure of stone reflected the harmony of creation itself. Those who built these mountains of geometry were not slaves of kings, but servants of light. They shaped the breath of eternity into form, carving in limestone the very heartbeat of the universe. Across the dunes, night falls. The air cools, and the first stars appear like sparks rekindling an ancient fire. In that stillness, the secret begins to stir. For the pyramid is not dead stone. It is alive with purpose. Each angle, each shadow, each ratio is a syllable in the cosmic language of order. The builders knew that number is not a human invention, but a divine revelation. They saw that geometry is the script of God written into the fabric of existence. Within the measure of the Great Pyramid lies the circumference of the earth, the distance to the sun, the constant of pi, and the golden proportion that shapes the spiral of galaxies and the curl of a seashell. How could a people of copper tools and desert sand have known such things? Perhaps because they did not calculate, they remembered. Knowledge was not discovered. It was recalled, drawn forth from the deep memory of the soul. Long before history was written, before words could capture truth, the teachers of the first time walked among men. They were the keepers of balance, those who carried the science of the heavens in their minds and the resonance of the earth in their bones. They spoke of energy as breath, of vibration as thought, and of light as the first language. It was from them that the art of sacred building came, a way to weave spirit into matter. To them, stone was not inert. Each block possessed tone, weight, and consciousness. When arranged in sacred order, those stones could sing. The pyramid was a vast instrument tuned to the frequency of creation, amplifying the silent song of the earth until it touched the music of the stars. Every passageway, every chamber was a note within a grand composition, the hymn of the planet itself. Imagine standing within that resonance, the air still, the light faint, the weight of the world pressing down. And yet within your chest something begins to vibrate in answer. The heartbeat of the pyramid and your own merge into one rhythm. In that moment, you are no longer separate from the structure, nor from the universe that gave it form. You are the geometry. You are the sound. You are the code. The priests of ancient Chem understood this union. Their rituals were not superstition, but technology of the soul. By aligning sound, symbol, and intention, they opened gateways of awareness. The chants echoing through the corridors were not prayers, they were frequencies, keys that unlocked hidden chambers within the self. The hieroglyphs carved upon the walls were diagrams of energy flow, instructions for ascension disguised as art. When the morning sun struck the limestone, the entire pyramid shimmered as though aflame. To the initiates, this was not mere reflection, but ignition, the moment when light entered stone and awakened it. The apex, capped once in gold, caught the first beam of dawn and sent it cascading downward, infusing the monument with solar life. Thus the pyramid breathed, inhaling light by day, exhaling starlight by night. Far above, Orion rose, his 3 belt stars mirrored by the 3 pyramids below. This alignment was no accident. The ancients called Orion the house of Osiris, the place of eternal return. The souls of the righteous, freed from the body, followed that celestial path to the realm of immortality. The pyramid was the vessel that launched them, a spiritual engine calibrated to the heavens. But the code hidden in its form is not only for the dead. It speaks equally to the living. It reminds us that matter and spirit are not divided, that the physical is merely the frozen echo of the metaphysical. When we walk among these stones, when our eyes trace their impossible symmetry, something in us stirs, a memory too old for words, yet unmistakable. We recognize the pattern because it is within us. The pyramid mirrors the geometry of the human body, the spine as the central axis, the chambers as chakras, the capstone as the crown of enlightenment. The temple without reflects the temple within. Deep inside the monument lies the king's chamber, constructed of resonant granite. Scientists measure its acoustic perfection. Mystics feel its vibration in the blood. When sound is struck within, the walls respond like the strings of a vast instrument. The chamber hums at frequencies that correspond to the rhythm of the human heart and the Schumann resonance of the planet. Coincidence? Or design born of ancient knowing? In the hidden darkness of that chamber, the initiates once lay in ritual death. Their bodies still, their breath slowed, they surrendered to the silence until consciousness separated from flesh and traveled the inner corridors of light. There, between heartbeat and eternity, they touched the infinite. And when they returned, they were reborn. Humans no longer, but stars walking in the shape of men. The pyramid's secret, then, is not merely architectural. It is biological and spiritual. It reveals that energy, when ordered by harmony, becomes consciousness. The same code that aligns the stones also aligns the DNA within us. The ancients spoke of Ka, the life force that moves through all things. To awaken the Ka was to remember one's origin in the cosmos. The pyramid was their teacher, the ultimate mirror of unity. Centuries passed, empires rose and fell, sands buried the truth. Scholars dissected measurements, explorers sought treasure, kings claimed divinity, but few listened. The code does not yield to greed or analysis. It opens only to reverence. Those who approach with calculation find equations. Those who approach with wonder find revelation. The builders themselves left no names. Their silence is deliberate. For knowledge that serves ego becomes destruction, but knowledge that serves balance becomes creation. Thus, they hid the formula in plain sight, trusting that when humanity matured once more, the stones would speak again. And they do, even now, whispering through intuition, dream, and déjà vu. Night deepens. Above the dark horizon, Sirius burns, the brightest of stars, the eye of Isis. Its light reaches Earth after 8.5 years of travel, yet within the pyramid's geometry, that delay dissolves. The structure receives the starlight as if time were an illusion. Light enters, spirals, and emerges transformed, a lesson that energy is eternal, only its form changes. If you listen beneath the wind, you can almost hear the hum, the low vibration that connects all life. It is the sound of the universe breathing. The ancients called it the word. Modern science calls it the quantum field. Different tongues, same truth. Everything vibrates. Everything is alive, and in that vibration lies information, an intelligence older than any civilization. The hidden code of the pyramids is the pattern of that intelligence rendered in stone. It is the statement that consciousness creates form, not the other way around. When you realize this, the pyramid ceases to be a mystery and becomes a mirror reflecting the potential of your own mind. The stones dream beneath the moon. A faint shimmer of heat still lingers in their seams, as though the memory of the sun refuses to fade. Within that warmth rests the message, the same code that hums inside every cell of every living thing. It waits, not to be decoded by instruments, but to be remembered by the heart. The desert night carries a strange stillness. Somewhere a breath of wind sighs through a broken passageway and becomes a voice. It says that humanity has slept for millennia, forgetting what the ancients once knew, that the universe is not outside of us, but within us. Every heartbeat is a drum of creation. Every thought shapes reality as surely as a mason's hand shapes stone. The builders called this the law of correspondence. As above, so below. When they placed the capstone, they aligned more than architecture. They aligned consciousness itself. The upper point reached toward the stars, the lower foundations rooted in the earth, and between them flowed the current of life. Each pyramid was a tuning fork set within the planet's grid, harmonizing spirit and matter until the two became one vibration. At the dawn of each year, when the Nile began to rise, initiates gathered before the shining monument. They carried bowls of water to reflect the first rays of Ra, the living sun. As light kissed the water, the reflections danced across the limestone like living serpents, symbols of the rising life force within man. This was their mystery, to raise the inner river of light until it reached the crown, uniting the human with the divine. The pyramid was both map and mentor for this ascent. Inside, they taught the language of energy. Each corridor was a syllable, each chamber a breath. To walk the interior was to walk through levels of consciousness. First came the passage of shadow, where one confronted fear. Then the passage of echo, where one learned that thought and sound are the same. Finally, the chamber of resonance, where silence itself became a sound, the tone of origin. Those who heard it never forgot, for it was the frequency of the soul. Modern seekers speak of vibration, of energy fields, of frequencies that heal or destroy. The ancients knew this long before science found names for it. They understood that harmony creates life and disharmony decays it. To live in truth was to live in tune. Their temples were not places of worship but instruments of attunement. To stand within their symmetry was to be reminded of perfection. In forgotten libraries of Alexandria, fragments of scrolls once told that the pyramid encoded not only measures of the earth, but measures of time. Its angles traced the procession of the equinoxes, marking epochs of consciousness. Each age, they said, the light of knowledge fades and returns, like the breathing of the cosmos. The pyramid stands at the center of this great respiration, exhaling wisdom to those who can hear. The sandstorm of centuries buried more than stones. It buried the memory of our purpose. Yet nothing truly lost can remain hidden forever. Every so often, a spark reignites, a dream, a discovery, a question that refuses silence. Someone stands before those ancient walls and feels something stir inside, a pull older than history. That pull is the awakening code, calling the sleeper to remember. Consider the numbers carved invisibly into its proportions. The ratio of the Great Pyramid's height to its base equals the golden mean that shapes the spiral of galaxies, seashells, hurricanes, and the unfolding of a fern. This is the signature of life itself, the pattern through which energy chooses to become form. In replicating it, the builders proclaimed, "We are of the same design as the cosmos. We are its reflection." Perhaps they knew that one day humanity would forget and require a mirror so vast it could be seen from the stars. A mirror that endures when scrolls burn, when tongues change, when empires crumble. The pyramid is that mirror, a message across time written not in ink, but in eternity. Walk again among those stones in your mind. Feel their cool weight beneath your hands. Hear the faint hum beneath the sand, the pulse of a planet still alive. You are not a visitor there. You are a returning child. The code within the pyramid recognizes the code within you. It vibrates in sympathy, whispering that you have never been separate from the stars. Every generation adds its layer of interpretation, astronomers, mathematicians, mystics, all circling the same truth. The form is perfect because it is based on love, the force that draws all things toward unity. Gravity is love made visible. Light is love made radiant, and consciousness is love made aware. The pyramid embodies that union. It is the geometry of compassion frozen into matter. At the edge of dawn, the desert begins to glow. The first beam of sunlight touches the apex, then slides downward, igniting the east face with fire. In that moment, the monument and the horizon become one line, one heartbeat between sky and earth. The ancients called it the opening of the horizon, the birth of light from darkness. We might call it remembrance, for the true hidden code of the pyramids is not etched in stone or buried beneath sand. It is alive within every human being. It is the potential to awaken, to align, to create. The same intelligence that lifted those blocks into the heavens beats now behind your ribs. When you breathe in rhythm with the world, When your thoughts shape harmony instead of fear, you rebuild the pyramid within. The narrator's voice softens, older than time. Do you see now, traveler? The mystery was never theirs alone. It is yours. The code is not something to find, but something to become. Each breath, each act of awareness, raises another invisible stone. When enough hearts remember, a new monument will rise, not of granite, but of consciousness. It will span continents and epochs, a temple made of awakened souls. Then the great silence of the pyramids will end, for their purpose will be fulfilled. Humanity will have heard and understood. The desert wind returns, whispering over the plateau, smoothing the footprints of those who seek. The stars fade into the growing light. Still the pyramids stand, patient as ever, guardians of the eternal equation. Their message remains simple: know thyself, for within you is the architecture of the universe. And so the ancient voice fades, but the vibration continues, soft, eternal, the heartbeat of creation itself. Somewhere deep within, you feel it answer. The hidden code has never been lost. It has only waited for you to remember. The wind settles, the stars return, and the ancient silence closes once more. Yet the code still hums inside the stones inside us. Perhaps the true secret of the pyramids was never meant to be found in the desert, but remembered in the soul. If this journey stirred something within you, let the exploration continue. Subscribe to Ancient Astrologer and keep uncovering the lost wisdom that time tried to forget. Until the next revelation, traveler, keep your eyes on the stars and your heart in the past, where the future was first written.